Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's Pastor Manny here, and this is Looking Up, a ministry we have here called at English Oaks Seventh-day Adventist Church. And Pastor Bob and I, Monday and Thursday, we send out an encouraging message, encouraging thought for your day, and just you can listen to it throughout the week if you want to. I hope you all had a blessed weekend. This past Sabbath was our first Sabbath in person. It was so good to see people and to see their faces, and I really hope we can continue moving forward with this. I'm sure many of us are getting really fatigued with everything that's happening, But with that being said, let's get into the worship thought for today. The thought comes from Matthew 14 verses 13 through 22, and this is a story where kind of a couple stories in one, where John the Baptist gets beheaded, and then Jesus feeds the 5,000, and then Jesus kind of begins to then it goes into the story of how Jesus walks on water, right? And then the reason why I'm telling you all that, because I want us to learn three things from these clumped in stories that I'm just gonna share briefly with. And the first thing is Jesus hears of that John the Baptist is beheaded, and in verse 13 it says that he withdrew to be secluded somewhere. And so the first thing I just simply want us to learn is that Jesus, we can bet that he was grieving during this time, which is probably the reason why he withdrew, right? And so the question I have for us is how are you doing right now? What's going on in your life? How is everything going around you? And many of us may be feeling fatigued. We may be feeling drained right now. But I think in those instances, our body is telling us something. Our body is probably crying out to us, and I believe it's God too, saying, "Hey, what's going on inside? Like, what are you grieving over?" Right? And it's not, grief doesn't just happen when someone we love dies, right? Grief can happen in a bunch of different ways. During this season, we could be grieving, maybe not going to church in person, right? We could be grieving over the normalcy that we had in life, right? We could be grieving over just certain little things that's been going on in our lives. But Jesus gives us a good example in and how we could confront the grief, right? He secludes himself. He goes away. He spends time with God. He spends time in thought and in prayer. And it's really good to have a process to really process the grief that we have, and to name it, to call it out, things like this. All right. So that's just the first thing I want us to learn. Obviously, we can go much deeper into that. But the second thing is that once Jesus feeds the 5,000, he gets finished with feeding the 5,000, right? He sends the people away. He sends the disciples away, and he goes up into a mountain and to be by himself and to pray. And this is the second thing. Jesus had a busy time. He was healing people. Before that, he fed the 5,000, right? He's just a full jam-packed day. And after that, he spent time alone, right? And the second thing is, like, we're all busy. We're all super busy. Some of us may be even busier now than even before COVID happened, right? But I want to encourage us to have that alone time, and it could be with God, right? Or it could be doing something that feeds you. It could be doing something that is like gardening, riding your bike, right? Going for a swim, going on a road trip, going for a hike. Do something that feeds your soul. These are all things that we need to do to maintain sanity during this time, right? So in your season of busyness, pick times throughout the day, throughout your week, to seclude yourself, to get away, and to just do something that's gonna help relieve the stress, help relieve everything that's going on around you. And the third thing simply is Jesus, when they're about to feed he's about to feed the 5,000, right? All they have there is 5 loaves and 2 fish, I believe. Let me read it just to be sure. Let's see. He had, yes, he had 5 loaves and 2 fish. Okay, the simple thing I just want to share with us today is, the little that we have left, the little that we have to give, when we give it to God, when we give it to Jesus, He can multiply it in abundance, right? And I don't know what you're going through now. You may feel, maybe thinking, God, I only have like 10 minutes to give today. You know what? Give that 10 minutes to God with no distractions, and say, God, this is what I have, and God can multiply that. Yes, even that. So what I want to encourage you to think about, though, is you may not have a lot to give. You may not have anything. You may feel like you have little left in the tank, but take what little you have left, give it to God so He can multiply it and bless it abundantly. All right, so that's just some of the stuff I wanted to share that's been on my thought and on my hearts during this time. I hope that helps throughout the week. I hope that brings you courage. I hope that brings you strength. Please stay safe, everybody. Take care. God bless, and can't wait to see you all in person soon. All right, have a good one.